And we have breaking news this morning. The U.S. and the U.K. striking Iranian-backed Houthi militants in Yemen. 100 precision missiles striking 60 targets at 16 different locations. This, of course, in retaliation for 130 attacks on U.S. troops in the Red Sea since October 17th. President Biden, who has not been seen in public in 3 days, issued a statement last night saying these strikes are in direct response to unprecedented Houthi attacks against international maritime vessels in the Red Sea and have endangered U.S. personnel, civilian mariners, jeopardizing trade and threatening freedom of navigation. U.S. intelligence warning Hezbollah could attack America as tensions from its assault on Israel spill over. Joining me right now is retired Army Brigadier General, author of The Phalanx Code, General Anthony Tata is here. General, great to have you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. Your reaction to these strikes?
Yeah, so Maria, good morning. I'm wondering who's in charge in the Pentagon and the White House, et cetera. You know, we've got a chain of command, a national command authority that's sort of AWOL. When you look at what's happened over the last couple of weeks, what are fighting men and women out at sea and in the air, who's providing policy oversight to them. And when you really look at this all stems from when Blinken and Biden back a few weeks after they took office removed the Houthis from the specially designated terrorist watch list. And, I assume that it was a stick in the eye to Saudi Arabia because if you remember back then, the Khashoggi thing was a big deal. And this was Blinken and Biden's way of saying, OK, MBS, you take this. We're going to remove the Houthis who have been shooting at you from this terrorist watch list. And so this is, again, the exactly wrong instincts that this administration has. 180 out from America first, from putting American men and women that are serving our country first. What they do is they cede really authority to the UN that tells them, that asks them to remove the Houthis from the terrorist watch list. And it's really, really bad to know that my brothers and sisters out there in uniform are led by these people that really have no concern from a policy standpoint where all this is going. There's no vision. It's all reactionary. It's all proportional. What is proportional? We have a doctrine of overwhelming force. If you're going to lead with the chin of the American soldier, you better have overwhelming force. So all of this is just chaos, and nobody's in charge, apparently.
Well, we are understanding that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin gave the directive while in the hospital. Obviously, he is in the hospital still being treated for prostate cancer and the fallout there. But, I mean, President Biden hasn't been seen in 3 days. Secretary Austin is in the hospital. And, of course, we've been dealing with these attacks on our troops since October 17th. Are you more worried about who's in charge, or are you worried about the fact that we have not responded until now? It's been a few months, and we've been attacked continuously. Our troops have been in the Middle East.
Yeah, hey, Maria, I know Lloyd Austin, and I pray for him, and I hope he gets well and that he beats the cancer. His deputy couldn't be bothered to come in off vacation when she learned that she had to assume his duties. His chief of staff was at home and sick and couldn't be bothered to notify anybody. So there's some arrogance here. There's some just disarray within the command and control, the National Command Authority. It's really, really scary. You can imagine that if President Trump was in charge, how the mainstream media would be treating this. I am very concerned about the lack of a vision, the lack of a deterrence against Iran. This is what happens when you appease Iran. Remember, Jake Sullivan said a few months ago, right before October 7th, that he published an article in Foreign Policy or Foreign Affairs that Iran was going to lead peace in the Middle East, and we were right on the brink of peace in the Middle East. And this administration could not be more wrong, and they're jeopardizing the safety of our men and women in uniform.
Well, it's questionable as far as just, where they're getting this information. I mean, why are they so intent on partnering with Iran or doing business with Iran? Since this president came into the Oval Office, he's been trying to do a deal picking up where Obama left off in terms of doing a nuclear deal with the Iranians. Meanwhile, you talk about the break in command, the chain of command. Now some Democrats on Capitol Hill are upset that President Biden did not go to Congress to get approval before making these strikes. Ro Khanna said that the president needs to come before Congress before launching a strike, but received a community note on X stating the president can initiate limited military action if reported to Congress within 48 hours. Then there's Rashida Tlaib. She said that the president is violating Article 1 of the Constitution with these airstrikes. Back in January of 2020, then candidate Biden said that Donald Trump does not have the authority to take us to war with Iran without congressional approval, that a president should never take this nation to war without this informed consent of the American people, General. But that's exactly what he's done here.
Well, what you have, Maria, is, you have all this projection going on from Biden about democracy and dictators and all. He acts like a dictator. He makes these kinds of decisions, assuming he's making these decisions. And what you have is a executive branch that is really out of control. And honestly, I really don't know that they have any clear vision in their coddling Iran, and it's all because of the globalist view that this administration has. They're in bed with the United Nations, which has a very pro-extremist bent to it when you deal with this part of the world. And of course, they support Hamas, for example. The UN does, and not to mention perhaps this administration. And so what you have is a administration that's ceding its vision to the United Nations and naively believes that Iran can somehow come to the table here. We need to deter Iran.
Yeah. All right, General. We'll be watching all of this. It's a developing story. We so appreciate your insights on this. General Anthony Tata joining us this morning, and we'll be right back.